What would you do with an over $5,000 Vortex optics and gear shopping spree? New Razor binos, a spotting scope? How about a new rangefinder or red dot for turkey season? You could get all that and more, plus $500 to shop at Vortex's online apparel store. All you got to do is swing over to Vortex.com and join Vortex Nation. There you sign up for their newsletter and you'll be automatically entered to win the $5,500 prize package. The deadline to enter is March 31st, 2023. Go to VortexNation.com today to enter now.
Anything to do with Western big game.
Welcome to the Epic Outdoors Podcast, powered by Under Armour.
Here we go. Hey everybody, Jason Carter, Adam Bronson, Josh coming at you, as well as Juicebox. Are we going to call you Juicebox now?
Juicebox or Gen Z?
I like Gen Z.
Yeah, it seems like the office is torn.
Does everybody knows how he got the name Juicebox? Did we talk about that?
Well, he just sucking on a juice box in the background, but his videos were all front and center right on him.
That's right.
Right?
That's right.
All over YouTube. Now he's the internet
Now he's
TikTok
got
sensation.
Got Capri Suns.
He's the old TikTok sensation. Speaking of which,
Maybe
Logan,
don't
why
They're
don't you,
having, they're having hearings as we speak.
Don't
I
bring
walk
that up.
in,
It's cut
and I had
DVD.
I had C-SPAN on in here.
Yeah.
That's what was going on.
And we're like, and Logan is on the clock figuring out if his life is now over.
I know. I think my job kind of relies on TikTok, so I got to make sure.
We got a Gen
The old
Z
resume.
worried about TikTok, and if they do away with it, that's going to be bad. That's going to be life-changing.
I
Does
know.
that mean he's done here?
No.
Is that what that means?
No, you're not.
That's why I'm watching the trial so
So
closely.
how is it? What are we up? Where are they at now?
I don't know. The CEO of TikTok hasn't spoken yet, and that seems like that's the big centerpiece for today. So
Is to figure out if they know everything that we're doing.
yeah, security and whatnot, which
There is no security.
right.
Right.
It's probably a
Bronson,
little more
what were you
lax.
saying? Bring that topic up. When we were talking about
I was just spewing.
odd
I
topics,
think
and all of a sudden something pops
yeah,
up on your
but that
phone.
happens on Instagram and stuff too. And they're supposedly got whatever Facebook and Instagram grammar supposedly already sanctioned.
What was it we were talking about the other day?
What was the word?
LARPing.
Yes, LARPing.
Oh, we did talk about
Remember that
LARPing.
crap?
LARPers overtaking the
Whatever.
castle.
The castle downtown.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden there was what? Swords and
You guys had
shields
LARPing
and
ads.
stuff.
Next time, next
Yeah.
time we tried to update our. 'cause
Yeah,
it was the same time we were
nights.
doing the March Madness giveaway thing, and I tried to open it up to
And
put that on Instagram, and I had sponsored after sponsored ad of LARPing.
but do
things.
you have TikTok on your phone?
No.
So that's my point.
That's not. That's what I mean. It's not
Nothing's
just TikTok.
secure.
That's right.
Right?
Facebook and,
Well-
and Instagram want to act like they're being discriminated against, and TikTok isn't.
Yeah.
Bull.
The
Bull.
security.
You guys do whatever you want.
The security debate isn't about what they can listen to and what they can gain from you. It's about if it can leave their system or not. So Meta is Instagram and Facebook and whatever else Mark Zuckerberg owns. They can listen to you through your microphone. They track whatever you Google. They track whatever you look at on Instagram.
Okay.
And then they use that to show you stuff, but only on their platforms. But TikTok is giving it out to other platforms.
To bombard your junk email and everything.
Mhm.
That's wrong.
We've got the others okay.
No, they are wrong too. They're all wrong. They're all wrong. You shouldn't listen.
Well,
but we love playing jokes on it, and we've done it. We've done it in our family, and I think the LARPing thing, we didn't start that way, but it's a prime example.
It is a prime example
those of
because
you that don't
LARPing
know
never
it-
comes up ever,
No.
and
You
it's
think
never
that- you think
searched.
we never talk
We
about
are not
LARPing.
LARPers.
Yes, exactly.
The LARPer Josh.
For the people,
Yeah.
hey, should we tell everybody what a LARPer is?
Well, yeah, I guess. Go ahead, but you're gonna have ads like crazy.
No, I'm not.
I hope everybody
hey.
listening to this playing it
Yes.
through their truck speakers. their
it's
phones
They're gonna
pick
have
it
some
up.
LARPing ads.
It is 10:28 right now. We're all before we get off this podcast. We're going to check our phones to see if we have more ads for LARPing by the end
Shields
of the
and
podcast.
swords and stuff. I don't know. What
Stands
Go
for
ahead.
live action
So-
role play, but it's the people that meet with swords.
Is that what it is?
Yes.
Live action. How
You've
did you
you've
Google
seen them at
this?
the park.
Oh, I know,
Like
but I
SU,
didn't know
That's
what
what it's
LARPing
called. That's
stood
what it's
for.
called.
How do you know that's what it stands for?
These guys,
Lord,
Devin.
Lord Bronson.
Yeah,
I
got
like
my-
it.
I
I
mean,
like it.
It's if you're
You would make a good
if
LARPer.
your mission in life was that you missed out as a stunt double in the movie Braveheart,
Oh,
you're a
geez.
LARPer.
yeah, there you go.
Right.
So I didn't even know that's what it stood for.
Really?
Live action.
I
role
didn't
play.
either until Devin and Wyatt had some interesting
While
college.
you were over at the castle, we had a conversation about it.
Devin
Okay.
and them, used
All
to
right.
watch, I guess, a little bit, but
Yeah,
but in kind of
They did?
Saturday mornings.
Watched
they
LARPing?
They gather at the
Who watched
Main
it?
Street.
Wyatt.
They're all over.
Yeah, but who
Wyatt
goes?
and Devin.
Wyatt Devin
I think they
drove
secretly
down
wish they
there.
could have been invited.
They were
But they
watching
also
LARPing.
thought about when they were in the heat of battle. They thought about flanking them,
dressing
coming
up
in
and just coming in and going to
Could you
town.
imagine, Devin?
Throw the
Hey,
football helmet.
Wyatt, what are you doing this morning? I don't know. Well, I was thinking about going down to the
Got-
city park.
Grab your
watch some LARPing.
grab. No, they were gonna rush it and like act like they were part of it and just crush people.
Okay.
It was not as a I'm enthralled by what I'm watching. It was more like I can't believe what I'm watching. Let's go get our own stuff and overtake this kingdom.
Visiting with Wyatt and Devin makes me think that my college experience was less than.
Mine was
Stellar.
Mine was blah
I
compared to their.
I mean, these guys have some stories.
Yeah.
Gen Z, how's your stories? Where are we at on your love life? Where are you at on things?
I was just about to tell you about the time I got pelted by a powder balloon at a LARP event. But
You've been to a LARP event?
Did you? Are you a LARP?
No,
Powder
so-
balloon full
No,
of, full
so-
of the chalk.
First
Yeah.
off, I want to apologize to my fellow LARPer.
I'm not a LARPer. What? Me and my friends would ditch class on Fridays and come over here to Panda Express and go eat it at the park right here.
Oh, okay.
And so we're sitting there, and they start LARPing, and I stood up to walk over to the trash can. They thought I was in their event. What? And some dude just pelts me with this pink balloon full of powder, and I'm like looking like, what the heck just
Like,
happened?
What color? White?
It's pink.
No, like the powder was pink, and I guess it was some kind of spell or something. And you're dead. And I was like, well,
It was like a grenade. That's
Yeah.
the form
Lay
of a
down.
grenade.
Lay down and play dead.
well, I looked at him so confused. He immediately knew I wasn't a part of it.
You're hit, dude. Tip over.
Yeah.
You're hit.
Waiting for me to react. I didn't know what the spell was.
Minus
Oh.
10 points. You didn't hit the dirt.
That's a much better story than the love
Holy
life.
cow.
Well, so you
Little
got
did I know somebody was caught up in the middle of a LARPing episode.
Don't walk to the
It's-
trash can and throw away your Panda Express while there's LARP going on.
Yeah.
You will be
I would have
pelted.
loved. I would pay money, honestly. I would pay Devin or Wyatt to dress up and just go. I would pay literal money.
How much? Because they might do it.
I think
I'd pay
Devin
them $50 each if they did.
How about a
I
box
would.
of shells?
Oh yeah, for some primers, Devin to do it.
It'd be all in. Oh.
You get
well.
you get a pound of H1000. Archibald would do about anything.
Oh, he would. No question about it. All right.
Well-
Well, Bronson, there's a lot going on. There's flooding going to happen.
well, yeah,
Potentially.
It is. No, it's
I took a trip over to Nevada, and there's water and streams in places that are never had it before. It's kind of crazy. Pretty exciting.
it is
Actually.
for the desert country. It's gonna be too much if this doesn't start gradually melting and it all
Yeah.
comes at once. It's gonna be interesting because we keep pushing any melting. We did have a couple of rain events that started the melting. I mean, we've already talked about did we talk about the Panguitch Valley? That's
We talked about it a little bit.
got about 6 feet of
How's it looking?
permafrost, and
It's
then
good
that-
now.
And it
It's
got
good
rained
now.
on though, and it frozen ground with a foot of snow that gets
Yeah.
another inch or two of rain on it.
Yeah.
You guys had lakes and
Yeah, the baseball field was a lake, and
We're talking about records potentially being broke or maybe have broke today.
it's getting new. I mean, it's supposed
Yeah.
to snow all week.
we're talking
And
about the heaviest snow water equivalent year in the
Ever.
history of Utah since they kept these records starting in 1980, I think. It
Yeah.
was.
Yes, right.
Which-
82, 83, 84 was extreme.
They were the
and,
highest, yeah.
And we're
We're gonna
cresting
beat
that. And that prior to that, what was the higher?
They
I
didn't
mean,
keep these kind of records. They kept snow depth, but not snow water
Equivalent.
which we're pushing like 26 inches.
Yeah, the record was 26.
Right now.
of water, 26 inches
and we were
of
like
water.
point-
Standing
0.9.
water,
Standing
in the
water.
Snow.
So if you took a 26-inch deep bucket of water, that's the equivalent of what's up there on some
And
peak.
that's
20,
that's
10 to 20
that's
feet of
also
snow.
like statewide. So I guarantee
These-
you, there's probably some that are
higher.
higher.
These are
I would-
averages of sites throughout the state. That's how
Yeah.
they do say that Utah is now this. It's not like they have one spot that this is the only
Yeah.
the spot we ever measure.
Yeah.
It's pretty rare to have a uniform south to north winter. We don't have those a lot. A lot of times if northern Utah gets a good
Yeah.
winter, we can be dry as a
Yeah.
bone. And sometimes
Similar
we
to
get
what Idaho, parts of Idaho's dry right now.
yeah.
You know.
And I feel like a lot of the northern Utah storms, a lot of their storms are often drier, where ours are coming from the south, where it's got a lot of moisture
More-
and stuff
more
coming
moisture.
from Mexico and a lot of that. So
Yeah.
a lot of times ours. So it wouldn't surprise me. I haven't dove into them, but it wouldn't surprise me if some of these up on top of the mountain up here are
Are
there's
wetter
probably more
than that.
water than 26. I would bet.
northern Utah wants the dry, fluffy snow for skiing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what
They want
skiers love. fluffy. It's powder. We like the dense stuff that breaks your back to shovel.
No, I mean,
we like it, but we like it to melt fast as it comes.
But apparently it's over because Devin summarized his snowblower. He said
no, winterized.
Oh, he did.
Whatever.
He called it summarized.
I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't
he
know
did.
if you
Put
can
some
winterize a
stable.
snowmobile.
He put some stable in it.
Yeah,
He did. And I'm like,
Snowblower.
Devin, it's first part of mid-March, Devin. We've had Mother's Day storms here crush the place before.
Yeah.
Like, we got 2 months of potential snow.
It's funny.
But anyway, you watch. He's going to break that stable's going to be,
Oh.
you're going to have to put another quart of oil in that thing to get some real gas in it.
It is weird, though. I'm kind of, I don't know, cautiously optimistic and / nervous because, I mean, shoot, we've got deer that are, like, say, those Ponsagon deer that are supposed to be starting to migrate back here in a couple weeks to summer range, and there's 4 feet of snow.
Be stunted grove.
And it's not like it's 10,000 feet summer range. It's like 5,000 feet summer range.
Is there any chance that it won't be a good antler growth year because it's too late of a spring?
I think the deer will be okay. They grow late enough.
Starting to wonder about elk, honestly. Like, I don't know when their summer range is going to even open.
Yeah, because
maybe opening day of the bow hunt.
About the time
August?
they're fully grown.
Just like on my commute back home, I mean, these deer here have had green grass for well over a month. You guys know that. But
You mean
Oh.
all the tinsel you were watching as you're driving home?
But driving home, like right now, you go in the evenings.
It's a little bit
there's a significant amount of deer have moved down. Like they've come down on those flats. It's really, really green, and so
just interesting behavior.
There's a significant amount of deer down there, but there's no elk. So the deer have already found what green grass is available in some
elk
of these
behavior
areas.
a little bit more. Well, not the Parley's Canyon bunches, but a little bit more afraid of people.
Yeah.
They don't come right down in the backyards as much, but they have in northern Utah this year. But they behaviorally don't do that like deer do.
Just like that up there may not be some of the green grass like we're seeing here. Some of those higher elevation deer that winter up in some of that stuff up north, they're not on green grass yet. So I could see it kind of impacting them. I think our southern deer, they're already on hitting green grass and
growing.
I like it.
Yeah, I mean they could be
sealing off pedicles.
They're getting fat.
They're sealing off
the blood.
Growing,
It's kind of exciting, actually. It's nice to have a little bit of a break. We're not ecstatic about all the dead animals that are
parts of Wyoming, northern Utah, northwest Colorado. I think is getting crushed. You guys are talking to landowners and outfitters up there, painting a pretty bleak picture.
It is, and even the vehicle and train collisions and things like that's going on in Wyoming because the deer,
elk
are coming to any dry ground, appearing dry ground.
You've got a straight luge for 50 miles, a plowed road. That's their migration corridor.
It's their new migration corridor. That's right.
And they're getting
I'm hearing that Bronson, a little bit too. The trains are wreaking havoc.
That's what I mean. Migration corridor. Now you're in a luge effect, and you can't get out.
Yeah,
it's 10 feet off the sides because some of those drifts are 20 feet deep. And
could you imagine what it looks like if a train hits a herd of antelope? The hair. I mean, you can't get that hair off of you for.
I kind of want to watch it, but I don't. I'm not happy about it, but it'd still be interesting.
You know how much now the graffiti is the least of the problems on the side of the train cars.
Yeah.
It is just
because remember
sad.
Did you ever go help with those antelope traps up on the Parker and you'd sit and wrestle those antelope for literal years? All of a sudden you'd be sitting there driving around your truck and you'd look and it's like antelope hair would work loose through the fibers of the coat. You're like,
it's like a sliver that takes 30 days to work
all of a
free.
sudden you're plucking an antelope.
The
smell.
Wire. It's a wire hair.
Yeah.
Oh. Anyway, kind of interesting. So there's a lot going on. Of course, it's nice to have some water down here. It's going to be a change. There's going to be big deer that are going to pop out of the middle of nowhere. You've got a lot of desert, arid places that have older deer, and they're going to reach their maximum potential for sure. It's green down south.
200 to 300% of normal.
300% in parts of Nevada and Arizona, even Utah. We're seeing some high twos at times. Kind of fun, it's also, we talked about it this morning. I mean, these are the years that you put too much on your plate. You're so excited.
The years we don't hunt just sheep, goats, and stags this year.
Yeah, this is not a sheep, goat, and stag year. No. Sheep, goat, and stags happen on droughts.
That's what you
focus on some deer applications this year.
Yeah, so anyway, kind of exciting. I don't know. So guys, I just wonder if we shouldn't kind of crush Colorado a little bit. We've not meaning positively. We're answering questions every day, dozens and dozens of guys looking to figure out what to do in Colorado, and there's so many options. There's not a perfect answer in Colorado. You give guys 4 or 5 options, and there's another 4 or 5 if you really dig,
Well, and to that point, there is no, for every point level, there is no absolute best place. And I don't care if there's a 20-point tier that you're at. There's not a no-brainer best place. You know what I'm trying to say? It feels like it's getting tougher and tougher to isolate the best options for each point level.
It seems
They're
like
all
it used to
blending
be.
together.
It used to be a lot easier. We'd say, 15 go here, 20 go here, 10 go here, and it's a little bit tricky now. I would say
everything's just moderated. I'm sick of saying that word, but it's like, okay.
The vent. You better look at that. What does that mean? Somebody's breaking into your place.
It's probably a LARPer breaking into my house.
Storming the castle, Lord Bronson's castle.
You're gonna have pink powder all over the place in your house here soon.
It was canceled by somebody, so maybe a real 9mm went off to a LARPer.
Yeah,
at my front door. But
Wow. I just was sent a video by a fellow friendly hunter. Anyway, he said just a little spring runoff. Just put the output to 30,000 CFS coming off the lakes. Going to get western here shortly.
Well, that's what's crazy about
all the little lakes around us.
Well, we're getting the later we get, the closer we are to 60 degrees all of a sudden.
70.
I mean,
it turns
60,
summer
70,
like that.
80, and that's why I'm saying a little
We can't
cautiously
get a little bit
optimistic.
more gradual.
Yeah, we need a
more
little bit of
gradual.
warm up, and so because like you were saying, the Panguitch, there was still over in Panguitch, there's 3 feet of frozen solid ground, permafrost over there. So the ground hasn't even started to warm up a little bit for it to suck up, and if it all of a sudden starts melting, it's not going to go in the ground. So
and all these little reservoirs in southern Utah, Nevada, and I'm talking little. They're little. They're full and overflowing, and we haven't even had runoff yet.
Oh yeah,
just
and
from
extra dikes and emergency dikes and things like that are being breached and crushed, and like there's a lot. Already we're seeing.
So anyway, my volume's off. Sorry for the interruption, but I'm waiting for the text from my wife that, hey, get over here. I just shot somebody.
I don't know if she would. She would. She'd dump a dude for sure.
Oh, especially if they touch the dogs.
Who knows? Hey. Who knows?
You know what? I guess going back to Colorado, I remember we look at 2 years ago, something when we were in here talking. What was the theme of the conversation then? It was
2 years ago?
Yeah, it was. We just need that good year. We haven't had that good year. And then it was, the bucks up high? And they haven't crawled out of the timber because of lack of snow?
They are not there.
Or they are not there.
What's
the term determination?
They're not there. They're not there.
Not even.
Not
even a point of
discussion. They want to maximize the resource and being able to utilization of it and be able to issue as many tags as they can. And on top of curb and CWD, which takes out, basically in theory, you take out the older age, or you know what I mean. They've definitely done that.
Yeah.
And I feel like, pre-rut, rut, post-rut, whatever, winter range rifle hunting with lots and lots and lots and lots of tags. Just imagine what it would look like here in Nevada if we did that.
You got 5 to 6 deer seasons in Nevada. Archery, muzzleloader, 1, 2, 3 rifles,
second, third,
and maybe an early rifle and a few units in September.
Yeah.
I mean, you look
That's right. Yeah.
Archery, muzzle, early rifles, and then second, third, and fourth. I mean, it's an onslaught.
And you think about just the unit that we had several tags for here in this office last year. We crushed it second season, third season, fourth season. We were all there, max amount of days.
You can say it. I mean,
with good weather, and I think I was the only one that saw a buck that was 170 plus 180s.
Yeah. And I love that unit.
Yeah, I know. Which it's
you wouldn't have loved it last year.
No, probably not.
It was brutal. It was, and I think that's just it. And what I was saying is we were there for the entire month of November. One of us was there just about every day.
And multiple units, too.
Should we just say it?
I mean, it don't matter.
Yeah, Unit 22.
Yeah.
Spent time there second. Bronson, you were there with your boy. Third, Devin was there. Fourth, Josh, you were there.
Yeah.
Pretty. It's pretty fun, and we still ended up with some big deer photos.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's
Still
not like
had
it's
big
all
deer
gone.
killed.
And out of there as well.
Maybe.
We had a couple, and then remember the one
Yeah.
guy had a 2 teens.
Yeah, I saw the one landowner showed me some pictures.
But for the number of deer you see, it was very disheartening.
Lots of deer.
And the miles. I mean,
Yeah.
geez, you talk about covering miles or whatever. I was doing 70, 80 miles a day on a side-by-side and, stopping the glass every so often and just going and going. And we saw a lot of deer. There were still plenty of deer, plenty of bucks still. But trying to find one over 3 years old.
But that exact idea happened everywhere. We were in the Alamosa Valley, and it was there too. It was everywhere. Doesn't matter if it's 68 or 79 or 62 or 22 or whatever it is, 35s, 18s. 35 actually did pretty good. But it feels like it was rough everywhere, statewide. And that's what we're kind of talking about.
Yeah.
I feel like, we've hunted.
Sorry to interrupt.
No.
I was going to say, I do feel I'm getting less calls. I'm getting a lot of Colorado calls. But it isn't like it was 2 years ago.
No.
And if you look at the points the last 2 years, a lot of units last year took almost the same points as they took the year before, which that point in Fusion, when these dates kicked late
when
a couple
the dates
years ago,
kicked late, there was
there's people, I think, that have burned their point. A lot of people have burned them. There's still people that haven't.
I agree with that, though. It does feel like
but it feels a little
less.
bit lighter, I think, because the top point has been knocked off, and rightfully so. You should have gone and hunted, and we're talking about it now. Like where do you go? Just throw a dart, make a good educated decision, pick second, third, or fourth, and go give it heck.
Yeah.
I mean, even us this year, most of us don't have the points to draw what we would really want. So we're going to play the turn back
Which
tag.
is what?
Well,
that's one at my point. Well, what would you really want?
I have 2 points. I mean, so I have what you mean, how many points do we each
well,
have?
What would you really want?
Well, stuff that's probably not there. Even if I could get it, like I'd take a 44 tag, but even a second takes 14, 15, 16 points.
It does. Yeah.
So I'm not going to, it doesn't matter. I'd take a solid third in a unit that has the potential, but most of those are taken low to mid-teens. The units I would really want to draw.
Yeah.
So you're going to have to try to find a landowner tag or try to play the turn back tag thing like all summer long, like we all do. That's
or just even accept a tag, like there's
and
things.
that's what ends up happening.
Yeah.
Meaning even landowner tags, like it's not like we have the corner, like they change year to year. Some of these landowners take some 2 or 3 years to draw a third season tag in their unit. So like you have to take what you find and say, all right, I'm going to go there. And we do that. We've gone to, like 22 last year with some of us, finding tags or turnbacks or whatever. You take what you get and then just go make the best of it. That's what we're going to be doing this year, unless you have a different plan, Carter, that I don't know about. If so, I'd like to know what it is.
I'm trying to come up with one.
Yeah,
I don't know. That's the thing, everybody. It's really easy. Sometimes it's kind of funny. We'll talk to guys on the phone, and it's really easy to lay plans out for them. Oh, you're at 2 points. This is exactly what I would do. And they need 14 more questions later. You're like, this guy's grinding me out, and I've already told him what to do. You know what I mean? But then I put myself in his shoes, and I'm like, yeah, I don't know what I would do. Yeah. Personally, if I had 2 points, Bronson, if I'm sitting in your shoes, there's a lot of options. Yeah. What are you going to do?
Points only.
Right. But, I mean, are you?
Absolutely.
Absolutely?
Points only, yeah.
Okay.
There's nothing I want with 2 points. It's just, there's just not. I mean,
right.
Not that I'm going to start my clock over on.
Yeah.
And the thing I saw, there were some good deer killed, just like you said. I mean, even flipping through our magazine, you're like, man, there's still good deer over there.
Oh, yeah.
But I think just the unit of this is the unit to be and when, and some of those deer came out of units that are only taken a couple points.
That's the problem with using a lot of points. We hunted Gunnison, and the deer that were killed in Gunnison, some of the better bucks you could have killed in 1 or 2 point areas, 35, 36, 18s, whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Easier. So, there's been a slight uptick in some areas we've seen that have had tag reductions.
Slight, yes.
Slight
improvements.
So, maybe unit 70 or something like that. Slight improvements.
We've seen tag cuts. Even
35,
some
36.
tags in 35, 36. Some.
Yep.
There's still a ton of tags. But a slight relief of pressure is maybe allowing a few deer grow up.
That's what it feels like.
And the good thing about it is, too, they do generally run high buck-doe ratios over there, which compared to, say, like a Utah, they run higher buck-to-doe ratios.
Compared to our generals.
Yes, better than our generals, which basically tells you there's more of an opportunity that an older age class buck could get by. The problem is they've been running these dates so low that a lot of those, that's when those mature bucks are vulnerable. So a lot of the bucks that have gone home with guys in the back of the truck the last couple of years are the mature top end. And so as long as I feel like if those dates continue to run late like they are, that's
every year
they're going to take those mature ones off every time.
Or the almost mature ones.
Right. And so anyway, that's where the problem lies, really. There's still plenty of deer, plenty of bucks, but that top end mature
and
buck
people
is
have to
getting
take
killed.
one home, man. I mean,
even myself, like when I left, I was texting some guys, just some bucks I was seeing, and
they were headed to dump them.
And guys were like, "What if you do not come home with that deer? If I don't get a text, they were talking about like the last day. If I don't get a text at 4:35 tomorrow on the last day with that, when you a picture of that buck, I'm gonna be mad, you know." And I'm
You're like,
you know,
I gotta get out in the cold and
yeah.
look at the deer.
I'm like, I can just drive home and not have to take care of something. And I'm he's a
clean
cool deer.
hands.
I had this deer. He was cool. But I don't even think he was 170. But he like grew out, and then like his twos almost touched. They were literally within an inch of touching at the top. And
the
he's
only
a cool, funky
tempting
deer, but
quality about him is his two's about touched.
And
Still talking about.
And it was just like
it's burned in his mind.
Did he have 2 eye guards? He would have died. Right?
Yeah, but it was just like, and then you get down to
Stickers
this.
is dead.
But I think a lot of guys are like, I've paid good money to come over here, and oftentimes you're in it $1,000 for non-resident to go over there for whatever, food, gas, lodging, whatever. And so most guys feel like, I have to come home with something.
You
And
came home with
don't.
memories.
Yeah, I did. I did.
And that's why you hunt anyway.
Yeah, but
You don't hunt just to kill stuff.
Did you guys roast a little Cornish game hen over there over a fire for Thanksgiving? You
No, we actually had a Dutch oven full of mutton.
Whoa,
There you go.
Yeah, so that was good.
I underestimated you had Royce involved. Never mind. Your dad.
But I did. We had turkey dinner. It was a bunch of pre-made type stuff and everything thrown in the microwave and cooked. But yeah, we had, my dad and brother was with me, so I had to make sure they didn't miss their Thanksgiving.
I feel like I want to just go unit by unit and crush this place and just give our feel. But I also Unit 1.
Top 5.
But I just top 5 units in Colorado are. Anyway, I don't know. I do feel like we're way bridled, but a lot of it is we can't really tell where the next giants are going to come from. Part of that is Gunnison. Unit 54 just crushed the place 2 years ago. 2021 was incredible. Pounded many giants, lots of them.
Last year, just kind of
one
was there
that we know
a
of.
little bit underachieved. But that's to be said with everywhere. There's almost never a unit. 44 maybe, but
44.
Look at the tag numbers are so low. It produces more consistent than anywhere, just because there's no tags.
It's fun. 44 is like,
let's set it aside.
44 is like talking about 13B in Arizona, or say the Oaks or Henrys or Ponce or something like that. Like it's one of those that. Yep. It's an intangible. You can't. It's a non-issue.
Yeah,
can't go there.
Yeah. The other units that are more, we'll just call them 2 to 15 point type units. It's like they never have a duplicate great year back to back.
Right.
They have a good year. The next year's flat.
Well, 44 was unbelievable last year. Back to 40, and it's not. It can't be. They killed them all. It was the perfect.
I don't
case.
know.
It was the perfect weather.
It was pretty good the year before. Pretty decent the year before too. And it was better last year than the year before. So. I don't know.
If you didn't kill it 200 to 220, you feel like you failed, and that's not the case. Hunting is hunting, and but with social media and everything, you see every single thing that even wanted to die. You know what I mean? Even looked big, you see it on social media, and so you feel like you're the only guy that didn't kill one. But 44 made the whole state look good last year, and it wasn't.
So I guess just as a random thing to throw out, if you are considering, I talked to a landowner that lives in Craig the other day, so up kind of in that northwest corner, you may want to be a little careful up in some of that country, 3, 4, 5, 11 to 11. I mean, Wyatt would tell you to go there every year. But,
22, who knows?
22, 23, any of those up in that section up there, because we did hear there was a lot of deep snow in Meeker that way too.
Yeah. We've been hearing that for like 6 weeks or 2 months, and it just kept coming. Yep. So it's been a long, relentless winter in that northwest corner.
That's the only spot in Colorado I've talked to or heard from guys, whatever, that said it's pretty bad.
Gunnison's fine.
But
talk to guys.
Yep. Everywhere else seems like a fairly normal to slightly above average winter, which is good. And but that'd be some of the only stuff up there that I would be a little concerned about. But then even then, it's going to be your fawns, a lot of it you're not going to see for a couple years anyway. But just deer numbers overall might be down, and if there were some older age class bucks in there, they could have died as well.
No, they're talking antelope, they're talking elk even. I mean,
it's all the species up there we're getting.
What were you saying? They took the sheep off the winter range.
Yeah.
Tell us.
Yep. He was just saying that they have sheep on winter ranges. Sheep can eat just about anything, so their winter ranges don't need to be amazing, and the snow got so deep up there that they had to bring them back, and they were feeding like a semi-load of hay a week just to keep these sheep herds alive up there. And he said he's never seen it like that.
Crazy.
Well, just north of there in Wyoming, that red desert, that south central part of Wyoming has been crushed probably the hardest too. We've all heard about southwest Wyoming, and they've had their issue, but it's worse in that south central Rawlins type area. Anyway, if you look at the proposed antelope numbers there, we're not going to talk about Wyoming yet. We'll have it probably in detailed talk about the deer and antelope there maybe in a few weeks. Since
they're proposing major tag cuts.
Yeah, major tag cuts for antelope in that part of the state. So anyway, but that's what we're hearing. There are traditional places like the Eagle Valley, Eagle Vale, Gunnison. They're traditional little bit ice boxes for Colorado. Gunnison's most known for that. But those deer are also born and bred to survive that, and it's not a catastrophic big winter there. It's not. It's a above normal winter, but it's not catastrophic.
Yeah.
So we're not hearing, other than that northwest corner, I don't know where you want to draw the line, but I would also say that a lot of that part of the state in general too has a lot of mix of public and private land and high tag numbers. It's not normally, I'm not going to label them as trophy deer because they have a lot of tags, a lot of private land, and so it's not normally where we hunt, but a lot of people do hunt there on private land.
Oh, there's a lot of people.
Over there's a lot.
And there's been some big bucks killed in some of that country over the years too. But it's not like you're saying. It's not like your trophy destination. These, you're
normally no.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yep. So I don't know, Bronson. I don't know. I
think
we take pride in hunting a lot of different units across the state of Colorado and spreading our guys out, kids, wives, whatever.
We've tried a lot of things and not afraid to just go figure something out. We've hunted units for the first time and got, been very fortunate. We've hunted some units for the first time and never want to go back to that unit either, too. And that's kind of what Colorado always has been, but even more so now. Like there's no clear-cut right or wrong for every point level. There's options, and just pick something and
that's the one
it.
thing I love about our minimum points query, where we can go through and do a query of 0 to 2, and we always kick out to the side what it took to guarantee it, but generally it's a percentage with 1 point under, and you can go click that individual unit or hunt or whatever and look at it, and it'll tell you exactly what the odds were last year. And I love that about it. When I'm consulting, this guy will be like, I have 4 points, so I'll do a query from 1 to 4, 1 to 5 or whatever, and say, okay, this is what it looks like you could get. And you could do all seasons, you could do just thirds, just seconds, just muzzles, just archery, whatever. And I just, man, it's so helpful to just, here's your options, and it's generally that long. You know what I mean?
And I don't think we talk about it as much as we probably should. And a lot of guys I talk to on the phone don't realize they don't really utilize the website that we have.
It's unbelievable.
And things like that we have. Most guys look at the magazine.
I use it 30 times a day.
And they're like, well, I don't even see half the units on the magazine. Well, we don't report that, but if you go online on our website, and so if you're looking at draw odds and those kind of things, if you're wanting to know maybe what's the best historical unit or what options I have, that's more like it. Yeah, throw your points in and you'll see what options you have, and then choose from there.
And we're focusing a lot of our talk right here on deer, but same thing goes for elk. You got elk points, you got 5 elk points and 1 archery elk hunt this year, throw it in there. There's a certain amount that we can print in a paper magazine every month. Everything's online.
Antelope's a little different with now having non-resident quotas.
It's going to be interesting this year.
That's going to change it up a little bit.
There haven't been a discrimination between resident and non-residents, and frankly, non-residents have kind of dominated the draw because we have a lot of points, and people do. And
you just save them to go. Harder. Yeah,
you're just buying them because it's $3, $9, whatever over the years.
We did have Colorado.
You're going to use yours? You just buy that pretty fast.
No, I'm going.
Whoa. Boldly.
I forgot I got to put let me email myself real quick. I got to put that on my hunt schedule.
Here we go. Right here on a hot mic.
You never know what video cameras are around here.
Yeah. Keep that down between your legs somewhere when you
might even have a video camera down there, who knows. Logan, what have you laced this place with?
Well, I can't see your password right now, so I think you're okay.
How about why don't you just hand Adam and I your phone? We'll go ahead and add it to your schedule for you.
Anyway, I'm just saying. Okay. I'm ready now. So yeah, I'm just saying. There was that quota changed, and then also for they changed some 35% non-resident down to 20. They did that new revolving.
Yeah, the ratcheting used to be like set from 2006 or 9 or something. 9. And we were getting a good ride for the
3-year
last 14
average,
years.
yada, 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 whatever.
And they reset that to 2021, I think. So there's new units, and we highlighted those in the magazine. New units that are going from last year, you got 35% of the tags went to non-residents. This year, there's going to be only 20%.
In some cases.
In some cases. So it didn't affect widespread. It only is units that took residents at 6+ more as of a 3-year average ending in 2021.
Average ending in 2021, and then it'll update
every year
each year.
That. So it's going to stay up, and it's going to be real interesting. There's talk, obviously, in Colorado. The commission's approved conceptually this 75-25
split, which would be across the board.
But that's not going to affect this year's draw. There's things that have to ratify first and go into place. But yeah.
You can't say Colorado's not fair to non-residents.
We can't.
They are extremely fair to non-residents, in my mind. The downside is we all just wish there was giants for everybody. You know what I mean? And the rifle rut hunting. That's right? I mean, so that's the trick is where are there a few deer slipping through? And that's what we're looking at these units, saying where are there some deer that are
older deer that are for the time being, because it doesn't stay long. We picked a few units over the last 5 or 6 years, some of us, and that window seems like in 2 to 3 years closes. Like they're no longer.
And we've killed big deer in 22 and 21 and 61 and 35 and 44 and I mean you 68 and Gunnison, and I mean we've killed big deer in these units, but you feel like you killed the only one available that year, and you now have to find a new place. It never feels like you can just keep going back and having awesome hunts, even with landowner tags.
And I would say we rarely do individually go back to back the same year to the same place. Part of it is we are adaptive in our schedules. Sometimes, a second maybe fits our schedule better than a third or something. Some years, you got to do something different, whitetail hunt or something like that. People are doing that this year. But,
hold on, let me email myself.
There
are some whitetail hunts.
But our point is we have gone back to units often and maybe taken a family member because they got the points to draw it now and all that. We're not doing that, but ourselves, I can't.
Well, you killed a big buck in 43. How many years ago?
No, I hunted there twice.
2005 or 6.
That's right.
And how many times have you been back since?
Yeah, never. And
it was a 200-incher,
and it's been pretty decent. It just went from a easy to draw second choicer to not, and at the point I had a bunch of.
But you have 2 points right now.
So I know, Jason.
So there's options for you.
Yeah, that's a great option for me. Thanks for the consultation.
Hey,
but I guess that's what I get for my membership at Epic Outdoors.
And you killed a big deer in 6 one year. How many times have you been back since?
I took a kit back, but I haven't been back.
And nor do you have any desire to go back.
Those are the type of.
But that's
just
my
like
point.
you in 22. The last
I know,
really
and I sent some people there here in the office last year, and they hate me now.
Well, and I've been there with you that year, so I know how it was. It was even better that year.
And that was
better that year.
And we've said that story. I don't want to go back to it, but like that pumpkin that smoked that deer out from under you. I mean, geez.
I showed my boy that. I showed him all where it happened, showed him the buck and the video when we were there this year. I said, this is right where it happened. And it wasn't a giant. It was a 180-ish, 180 probably maxer, but a well-built, pretty deer.
I'm calling it 190.
No, come on.
It was legit.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, we're just.
If it was, I would not even have called you on the radio.
They're 300-pound block bodies out there. They're always bigger than you think.
I got Jason down there to maybe video.
Jeez, I wouldn't have driven there for a little old 4-point.
No, you had a dead deer.
I thought it was legit. I came.
I said, hey, maybe get down here. Maybe
pedal
I'm going to shoot a deer.
Pedal down.
And he got there within 5 minutes, and I said, Too late.
Gomer Pyle shot it, and I'm not that he's a bad guy. I'm just saying Gomer Pyle's anybody we don't know. Just a guy, random guy out there. But remember when he was walking around trying to find it?
Oh,
He was just, walking and walking and walking, and we're like, that's how stuff happens. He's gonna walk away and go kill another one.
Yeah.
And we couldn't see it or we'd have helped him. I mean, we didn't know. All we did was hear the shot.
The deer ran off.
Yeah. Anyway, kind of funny, but I guess my point is, you smash a big deer up north, then you and we're unit hopping.
Oh yeah, and I'm gonna this year. I have no idea. I mean, again, I'm in a different situation. When you're trying to get a turn back tag, you find out. Every week we try to get a different tag in our cart in that scenario. And landowner tags, it's going to be what my season looks like on first part of June. If this is
kind of funny. Bronson, can I bring up another one?
Sure.
So you hunted like 25, 26.
Oh yeah.
Didn't have great hunts.
No, had decent hunts,
but went back a lot.
That was also a little bit different era, and you could draw second choices quite regularly at the time,
right?
Oh yeah, I hunted their fourth a few times.
Yeah,
but
but you knew it had the right genetics.
Saw a big deer, one deer first year, and it had me hooked, and then it just wasn't ever like that. Perfect conditions, really big deer.
How big?
210, 15, big.
Jeez.
Big deer. Fogged in, snowed in. On a 5-day hunt, you pray for snow until you get too much snow. Saw him like the maybe third morning or third evening of the hunt, and then the whole day 4 snowed white out the whole day. And the 5th morning, which is the last day of a 4th season, snowed till about noon or 1. And I'm like, dude, and I'm just sitting up there. I had a bonfire. I'll show you the picture. It'll be a good picture for this podcast. Show the bonfire me and my buddies built, just in a whiteout.
Yeah.
And we're 1,000, 1,500 yards away from the deer, but you got to see it first. And then, all right, I'm taking off, guys. You watch it. Oh. And finally, that evening it broke, and I said, all right, I'll go ask for, 2-3 hours. If it didn't show up on that ridge, I'm going to smoke a backup buck. And I ended up smoking the backup buck right at dark, and had a crappy night. All by yourself, shooting a 300-pounder, packed up in at dark in November, all by yourself.
Were you at like 10,000 feet? Had to cross a canyon?
This was not that year.
Oh.
This was the different year, but there was a lot of snow, and it was cold, and it was that night sucked. Packing a whole deer out on my back, boned, with all the clothes that you had, and because 4th season, you got to have a lot in your pack.
Yeah. 4's cold, man.
And then you have and then you put a boned out deer, cape, head. Anyway, but I haven't been back, and I think that ran its course. There was also periods in life, and we've all been there. When you're early in life, whether I didn't want to pay, a grand or two for landowner tag, or I couldn't.
Well, I think too is you knew in your mind it can happen. Like it did.
Yeah.
It did happen. You did see one. I've done it a lot.
And so if you could get an affordable landowner tag or a second choice third or something, that was my plan. And now, landowner tags are hard to find for each one.
Really hard.
And so you sometimes take what you can find and get, and the second choice tags are even harder to get and find and maintain points. And generally, I'm willing to accept, most of us I think here, we've been to Colorado enough that I'm willing to accept not getting a second choice tag in the draw, so that I have my turn back tag options all summer long and hopefully find a landowner tag.
Yeah, and I think to expound upon that, if you have a tag in your name, you're not eligible to get one of the Wazoo turnbacks. Yeah. So if you get one as a second choice, you got one attached to your name. You're not eligible.
And add one to your cart and check
right.
out. But you can, if you do draw it, you can do the little pushback period. I call it the pushback period.
Yeah.
If you draw a tag as a second choice and you don't want it, you got about what?
You can actually do it 30 days prior and ask for a refund because you already gained a point. You know what I mean?
Yep. You can do that and you gain your money, but you better do it well in advance of the 1st of August when the turnback tags start going on sale. Because it got to get processed by Colorado, and your count's got to be wiped clean, and I do no longer have a deer tag, and you can start buying them.
I was going to get one of those turnback tags come heck or high water. I even went over there and walked into an office and had the gal help me, and I couldn't get one.
No, they're hard. So we talk about it like that's our goal. No,
But Wyatt
got one, and it happens. It's very hard, but I mean, I'm willing to play that game and find hopefully a landowner tag that I is in my price range and the unit I want comes up. That's my plan in Colorado.
Well, I'd say even some of those you notice that you can get on a second choice. There's actually quite a few of those that'll go in the turn back list. So if it comes down to it, and you play it for a while and it comes down closer
you
to
get
the
that
hunt,
same tag.
you could grab the same tag you could have drawn and just saved yourself a little bit of the turn back headache and all that. You can just kind of wait and try for a better tag, and then as the hunt comes closer, you say, okay, I'm going to try and take that tag.
Well, and it's hard to believe that things change. So 25, 26, it's changed. Like, you don't really want to go back, you know. You also, your knowledge has changed. You've learned a lot since then.
I'm also getting older, so what I mean by that is you're in the same boat. Josh, maybe you're getting there. I don't want to squander another year in Colorado with something that has a 1% chance of me.
Right.
And 1% is probably too low.
You mean you don't want to take the meat wagon to a cluster units with all the kids and the wife and everything, and come back with no meat in the meat wagon?
You're in your life you don't get back.
You do it once.
Josh, you and I did it, and that's what's funny. We talk about 22. You and I did that.
Yeah.
Both of us.
Yeah.
Of course, you guys should have smashed a whitetail.
Yes, we should have.
That would have been
and a big deer the last day.
Yeah, and the big deer. And then I went back on your knowledge, and the big deer wouldn't leave private.
Yeah.
You know?
I think that's just it. We saw him for the literal 30 seconds that he was off. The doe left and came up and hooked around, and that's when I saw him, and he was heading back too and got on that chunk. But
I just meant my being older. I've done a lot of the turn back, second choice, third choice, just to be in Colorado.
I had a second choice last year.
Well,
I turned it back.
Did you push it back, or
No.
did you send it?
No, I sent it back later because I was like,
I want to play the turn back game.
yeah.
he got a kill, though.
I did. I loved it. I beat the system.
Yeah.
It wasn't 100% on second choice, so I beat the system, you know. Anyway, but there you have it. So there's a lot, and there's just a lot of options, and things change. And that's, I guess, going back to things change, is it's hard in our mind. You have units. I really have units I love to hunt. Josh, you're watching it in some of the country that you've hunted recently, and you've watched it change to be even tougher.
Years.
And when I hunted it, it was way better than when you hunted it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? 10 years prior.
And I guess that's, I don't know. I'm kind of getting I think the days of going into a new unit that you haven't scouted, e-scouted or whatever, you just go in there, get some advice from friends or whoever that's hunted before, and you go in there, and kind of as you're scouting, you're hunting, and the chance to run into a big buck, it's always kind of used to be the case. So going to a new unit to hunt wasn't a big as gamble as it is today, I feel like. Yeah. You could go to a new unit and still kill a big deer with some blind luck, I guess you could say. And I feel like that's gone a little bit. So to me, I'm almost looking at it. My take on Colorado now is, I've been to a few different units. I haven't been to as many, nowhere near as what you guys have had. But, we've collectively in the office been to a lot of different units and stuff. But my take now is I might just end up trying to go back to a unit that I know.
That you
that
like.
I've been to.
Yeah.
That I like. I like the country, but I've also scouted it and learned it. I know where to go, where not to go, if the deer do this, if the weather does this.
And just the confidence to keep after it,
and just say, you know what? I'll take that tag and go back this year. Maybe there's not a giant there, but I know what those deer do there. And the odds of a big deer being there are probably just as good as any other unit.
Yeah.
And I'll just go and but maybe I don't do it every year either now. Maybe like I was New Mexico looking at some stuff thinking maybe I just forgo and do something weird and try and go to New Mexico on a deer hunt during that time frame instead of going over there this year and give it a break. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's hard not to try to be there, but it's hard to be as excited as maybe we once were to be there. And that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there's just good options, and it's hard to sit out of Colorado. It really is.
Oh, yeah.
But with some of the other things, I'm just praying that I do better in the draws in Utah, Nevada, and Arizona this year than I have been doing.
Yeah.
Because I think those are the states I would really love to sink my teeth into if I can have some deer tags this year that I've been basically, we joked last year, go north the last couple of years, and some of the Wyoming and Idahos, and we did that to some extent, some of us.
Wyoming's not a figment of my memory.
Yeah.
I was basing my whole year around Wyoming.
That's right.
This year, 2023.
Oh, I know. I was.
It's not even.
I was too.
It's not even a 1% option.
And now we're so excited about these southern states, but it's also they're states that are very hard to draw tags in: Nevada, Arizona. Utah. Extremely hard.
It
New
is.
Mexico, if I'm talking
It is.
really good deer tags, and
Yeah.
those 4 states are like as hard as any states to draw deer tag in. So
The interesting thing
but
about
I'm still hopeful.
and hey, it's always good to have hope. But the interesting thing about Nevada is a lot of times when you see these upticks in moisture, you have an incredible year looming. And now we're seeing, there's an incredible year looming, but we've talked to the biologists at length, and there's not a lot of deer on the landscape in a lot of the country. There's some of them, they admit, 240s, 230s, they are going to be legit. They're going to be legit. I'm interested to see how the 220s turn out because it's been so rough with the high tag numbers, the high youth tag numbers. They've just pounded that unit. It is a factory. It's a deer factory. But
Is
the
there
numbers
enough
of
old deer to just blossom this year?
Right. So we have blossom. What does that mean? What does that mean?
We got 2 and 3-year-old blossoms.
We got little cheaters coming out the bases there. Or we got big, burly, gnarly bases that are 6.5 inches. You know what I mean? And, I mean, what does that mean? And so it'll be interesting to see. I think some of the desert stuff that we don't even consider, or most people don't even consider, will have a few, really, good deer. But during those drought periods, the populations were knocked back even further than a normal desert unit has, because the normal desert unit doesn't have that many, that good of populations anyway.
That's right.
And so what does this mean? What does this chia pet year mean? Because it's going to be a chia pet. It's going to be a chia pet year. But it's important to choose the right pets that can blossom. And so, anyway, I don't know.
It's going to be interesting to watch it play out. It really is in these states. And we keep going back to the states where we have it. It's mainly because we haven't had anything to talk about in those states other than
we
dust
keep trying,
right? And
that's
now we have something to talk about, and we're excited about it. We've talked about Colorado. It feels like year after year after year, it doesn't have the up and down change with some of the drought. It's a more of a uniformly better summer range state. Doesn't have as much desert country like these other states we're talking about. So don't see the ups and downs as much in antler development and stuff like that. And you have winter effect, if anything, is the only thing you really usually pay attention to.
It feels like when Colorado has an uptick in quality, it's generally you can look back and say, well, those tags were cut 100, 150
usually
tags.
That's why.
Yeah. I don't know. 44 is a unique, 44, 35, 43. Those units are real unique in that if you catch the right weather on the right year, there's an abnormal number of good, solid big deer taken. And it feels like that happened in 35 and 44. 35, 36, 44, potentially a little bit in 43 type country. So, there was a little uptick there. And then other areas across the state, it feels like the upticks that we saw are in relation to slight tag reductions. None of them slash tags like we would like to see. Yeah. So usually we're like, you cannot not go to Colorado. You always go. And there's this excitement about going. Yeah. It's just, when you drive on I-70 from Utah over, and every other truck is from Utah or whatever, surrounding states, California, and you gas up and people come up and start talking to you. I mean, it's an excitement in the air.
Yeah.
Hunting season's about to begin. People are excited to go to Colorado. I don't know that there's that feeling in the air at the moment. You know what I mean? And maybe it's just our office, but I feel, Bronson, you guys, and Josh, we talk to a lot of guys on the phone. It just feels a little, people are going to go because you're supposed to go, and it's fun. It is so fun.
Well, oftentimes there's not a lot else going on right there. A lot of the other states or deer tags you have, hunts are over. So there's a good gap right there, and you kind of put a cherry on the top of your year, go to Colorado and end. A lot of guys, it's their last hunt for the season, that kind of thing. And it's great dates.
Because most states don't hunt the rut with a rifle.
Great dates to hunt deer.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no better place you really want to be. Just maybe you need to have moderated expectations a little bit now.
Iowa whitetails, you don't want to be in Iowa? In a tree?
Well.
No, not really. Okay, well,
some years
I might be in a tree in Iowa. I don't know. We'll see. Not during the 3rd. I'll be somewhere around in Colorado for sure, lurking around. But anyway, kind of exciting, I guess. Is that kind of? Do we feel like we covered it well, Bronson?
We covered conceptually. It's really hard. Like if you're waiting to hear the top, and all joking aside, the top 5 deer units in Colorado, like, good luck with that.
Yeah, I don't know. It's more or less I find myself consulting guys with these are the units you can.
We
draw
can
with
say
these
what the
points.
top 5 are, but does it matter? And that, I think that's with a preference point state. There's not even a random draw.
No. And
You know
could you
what I
say
mean?
that? Could you say
Well,
the
I
top
mean,
5?
I don't know. Do you want to take a stab at it?
No. I was waiting because you said we could, so I was
We
waiting.
could.
Wanted to hear you.
I think we could. But
do it.
well, I mean, I don't want to make anybody mad. Everybody hates it when we that's the one thing I think we have a little apprehension. We would crush these units and tell you what our thoughts are. But A, it goes out to free to thousands, tens of thousands, and so it goes out for free. And B, people are sensitive to us naming their specific unit and thinking that we're going to ruin it. And that's not our
Somehow we're supposed
intention.
to say our personal units though, or else we're jerks.
So what? Don't be a jerk.
Like we have a lot of today.
Yeah, we have.
So, I mean,
So
keep that in mind.
And the good thing about
People.
Colorado too, if you have youth hunters, I mean, shoot, you get a lot of guys complaining in Utah about not being able to get their kids a tag, and we're lucky because it's close to us. 5-6 hour drive, you can be deer hunting and later, and it's a good opportunity for youth and to get them applied over there, get them a tag. You can grab an elk tag while you're there on some of these units, and it's
$100.
relatively inexpensive compared to other states, and so I've enjoyed taking my kids over there and watching them shoot deer, and just because they don't know. I mean, they're over there hunting. They're out of school. They're over there in the wall tent or whatever. It's so much
Life is
different for
good.
them. Yeah, they're loving it, and it's pretty dang fun to see them going over there and starting their hunting careers and finding a 4-point buck for them to shoot, and they don't
Pretty
know
awesome.
the difference. They're loving it.
that's what life's all about, really.
Yeah, I mean it's good. So I've had a lot of good memories there with them doing that kind of stuff.
I feel like it's important too. Is like sometimes to pick units. Some guys are wanting to pick units that are limited entry for second and third on elk. You know what I mean? Because you're dealing with you can pick these deer units, and then you've got over the counter elk pressure.
Yeah,
like crazy.
And that's there's some truth to that. There really is. But when you really boil it down, that's not very many units.
No.
Yeah.
40,
40,
61,
61.
210, 201. I mean,
Yeah.
you're talking about,
Yeah.
and yes, 66, 67 are, but they have quite a few tags second, third season for elk there. They're not,
Right.
they're better than over the counter. They're not unlimited, but I mean, when you start looking at,
79.
Yeah.
Whatever.
they're not
66, 67.
many. Yeah, they're not that many really though.
Right.
So I mean, if
But
you
I was
want to
in-
key in on them also, those units also take a lot of points to draw the deer in a lot of those units.
They do.
Yeah.
And
So-
some of them aren't worth it,
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
They take more than they're worth waiting for just to hunt in a unit that has, limited entry elk tags.
yeah,
You like 61, 15, 16 to draw a third, 10 or 11 to draw a second, 40.
And a lot of guys
know.
wouldn't like 61. It's lower densities,
Thick
It's
and
big
brushy.
country. You're an hour and a half drive to get anywhere.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? And people are like, "What?" Like it's hard for people to do that. Drive from
a lot of other places you can drive around winter ranges and see a lot more deer than you can in 61
with ease.
with ease.
And 61's not.
No.
With ease.
Yeah.
You know.
And it's partially why, has, top to bottom a lot of thick oak brush, pinyon juniper and all that, and other units like 40 have some of that. Of course, you got state line, stuff
Yeah,
to worry
but
about on that unit
Deer
too.
trying to winter in Utah or on the Utah state line, things like that. So.
Yep.
Anyway, yeah, I don't know. If you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. Of course, members here at Epic Outdoors would call in anytime and visit with us about things, and we can definitely throw you some options and whatnot. We talk to a lot of guys. We hear a lot of stories, and then we have a lot of stories of our own and things we've experienced. So kind of awesome. It's fun. It's fun. It's just we wish there was giants like or you know what I mean? Just wish there was just next level deer.
yeah.
You feel like you could. Anyway, we're gonna make it happen.
The genetics are so good in Colorado that's what you go there today hoping for.
Yeah.
That a 4 or 5 year old deer there can be really something in Colorado, and when I say that I mean 190s.
Yeah,
Plus
and there's
going to be a really good deer.
there's enough high country that deer could maybe get hide out in a little bit or private once they come down to, a buck could get on the right private and they don't allow hunting, and he could sit there all third, fourth season, whatever, and never get killed. So, you could maybe run into him the next year or something if he lives. So there's still some places there for some of those deer to get mature because of those. All right. Hey, we just want to take a quick break real quick and thank some of the sponsors of this podcast. I want to thank, obviously, Under Armour, kind of the title sponsor of our podcasts. Makes great camouflage. We wear it all the time. Check those guys out at uahunt.com. Like working with them. Have a good relationship there. Also, I want to thank Blaine St. James with St. James Sporting Properties. He's got some great properties out there that he's got for sale, and he specializes mainly in, hunting and fishing type properties. So give him a call or look him up, shoot him an email. His website is sjsportingproperties.com. Shoot him an email at info@sjsportingproperties.com. Look him up if that's something that you're interested in there. Also, I want to thank Cheston and those guys at PhoneScope. Make any kind of product you want for digiscoping, hooking up any kind of cell phone to the optics you want, GoPros, whatever. Hit those guys up at phonescope.com. Customize whatever you want for whatever phone and optic you have. They can help you out so you can get ready to do some digiscoping this fall and summer when scouting season gets started. Also, want to thank Kurt and those guys at Red Rock Precision. They make some really nice guns. Been using those for quite a few years. A lot of things have met their match with the end of a Red Rock Precision rifle. So give those guys a call as well. Look them up, redrockprecision.com. They can help you out and get you a rifle built, ready to go, kill something this fall. Anyway, we'll continue on.
Okay, well, should we call somebody?
Yeah, call somebody. I was looking for a picture to send to Logan.
I'm wondering if we should. I'm wondering if we should call Clint just because he's fun to. He's just fun to chew the fat. He's always thinking. He's always thinking, and he's got a plan come heck or high water.
And it's been long enough since you've called him on a hot mic that he might, and you've probably called him plenty of times since the last time for normal stuff. He's not going to anticipate that this is on a podcast.
Oh, he won't. We talk daily. He's not going to anticipate being on the podcast, so I don't know. Let's just get his take.
Maybe he's working and won't be able to
I don't
answer.
think he works.
Not a chance.
What's up?
Hey, welcome to the Epic Outdoors podcast.
What's up, Clint?
Hey, Clint.
Are you guys really that hard up for information that you've ran out of content altogether?
Maybe,
is that what you're trying to say?
Maybe we're calling just because we appreciate your friendship. Maybe it's not that we need information.
Coming to the fount of knowledge.
Fountain of knowledge. Now you're just kissing up.
Hey, so we just want to know what your opinion is. The State of the Nation address for Colorado, what your opinion is for Colorado.
I am not super high on Colorado right now.
Okay.
I love Colorado. I mean, I've been in Colorado every year for forever. I'm there on multiple seasons sometimes, helping friends, helping family. I love Colorado.
Like we all do.
Different units.
Like we all do.
It's the deer mecca. I mean,
it's the deer
you're not going to go
factory.
anywhere else. It's mule deer. It's awesome.
Yeah.
I don't think with what they've been doing with the current season structures, and I think they're just killing way too many of the older age class bucks out of there.
Yeah.
Historically, there's been a lot of private that's allowed a lot of bucks to escape, and if you get a mild weather year, it's helped a lot of the mature bucks. But with the current setup, with the dates and how many tags they're issuing, I mean, we're hunting mule deer the whole month of November, basically. When I grew up, you don't hunt mule deer in November. That's
Amen.
That's
Can
how
I
you
get a
kill
hallelujah? Yeah, we've said the same thing before we called you, Clint. So, and hey, we do not set up these calls. This is just a pure. If his surprise wasn't evidence enough, this was not a planted phone call. This was just Clint.
It's not.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, we don't even know what you're doing right now. What are you doing? Somebody thought you might be working, but there's no way.
In between jobs.
Yeah, I just looked at a job and got all wet and everything.
He's at the drive-through. That's what that means. In between jobs.
But back to Colorado, though, unless they do some major changes, I see the quality getting worse. I don't see it. I'm not real happy with the future of Colorado right now.
Yeah.
I'm not super happy where it's at right now. I'm not real happy with the direction that it seems to be going right now.
Next question.
And,
Next question. Because we totally agree with that. It's hard to stay away from, though, at the same time. Are you going to try to
I'll
be in Colorado? Okay.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I'll be there. Hey, I'm hunting it.
As much as we all say you do not hunt deer in the rut in November, where are we in November with a deer tag?
We're helping
climb up
Colorado
on
with their
November
management program.
Yeah, we're just doing what the wolves are doing.
If we don't kill them, the wolves will.
Yeah, somebody else will. I'm going to be over there.
That's the old Utah mentality
Get 'em
right
for the
there.
poachers,
I love
man.
it.
Well, I have noticed, though, the last few years in Colorado, there's more serious people in Colorado now. I remember a lot of the units that I hunt, you'd start to see less people after the opening weekend. I'm seeing more people that are grinding it out clear to the bitter end. I'm seeing more people that they just hit it harder. They're taking it serious. They're scouting more for it. And I think it's starting to take a little bit of a toll on the place. That's just what I'm seeing.
Yep.
Out there.
Yep. Just a hard
But I
place
just
to not
applied
try
for
to be there because of the potential, because of the genetics, because, but you better temper expectations. It's just a good place to go hunt deer in another state. And but it is not as much likely to meet your full expectations. There are a much smaller percentage of people that go there with a certain level of expectations. A much higher percentage of those people are having their expectations not met anymore. It just feels that way.
Yeah.
And every unit.
I want to kill a monster. Where am I going to do it, Clint?
Yeah, good luck.
I want to kill a
Colorado?
monster. Yeah, a monster.
44.
Okay. Next, what's the next
Okay.
option?
Sorry, I know
We
I
already-
can't get a 44 tag. So
We already said we did. Yeah, see, he's talking just like we said. We already said 44 is over here by itself. We're not talking about it.
Can't. It's a non. It doesn't.
For all
It's
intents
a
and
game
purposes.
preserve to me.
Yeah.
Where am I going to go?
Yeah, it's
So
hard.
Where are you
44 was
going?
good this year. Where am I going?
Yeah.
Let's talk about the
Well-
type of unit. Whether you know, because that's what do you look for?
I'm starting to get sweaty palms.
I'm trying to help him out. What type of unit do you look for, Clint? I mean, you are a landowner in
Clint
Colorado.
gets stuck.
So.
Clint gets stuck in a rut. He gets
I
cranking
I
on
have
one
places
particular
that
area.
I'd like to go. I get worked up about certain areas. I do think you're better off in Colorado if you can hunt one area more consistently than bouncing around into lots of different areas. I'll still bounce a little bit. Just it's usually helping other people. I've kind of started to focus in on certain units, but then when it doesn't pan out for you, you get really mad and you start thinking maybe I got to go. look
Every year,
somewhere
you're
else.
so excited to go, but really mad coming home.
Yeah, usually I'm mad when I come home. I mean, I had a great time. It was fun, but I didn't shoot the 200-incher, and I know the guy that did shoot the 200-incher. And when I'm hunting right next to him,
And he drove up the
makes
same
me mad.
road 2.5 minutes before you did.
or 2.5 minutes after me, and they just happen to come over. Yeah, just
Yeah.
it's frustration.
That's
I know that-
Colorado, man.
Well, it is, and people should curb their expectations on Colorado. If you're sitting on a grundle of points thinking you're going to have this super awesome hunt experience over there, I talk to a lot of people that I'm like, well, should I hunt it? Should I turn my tag back? And I'm like, well, go hunt it because I don't think it's going to get better, but it's going to be a grind. It's not going to.
Yeah.
You might kill the buck of your lifetime, but I'm 90% sure you're not.
Yep,
It's
that's right.
because
Exactly
some
right.
of the units I hunt, I know that there are 5 people that shot the buck of their lifetime, but I know there's like 395 people that had the pretty miserable grinder of a hunt.
What is it
Insane.
what is it about people that have to come home with a buck? They have to shoot one.
I don't have to shoot deer anymore,
I know not
So-
you necessarily, but
but there's a lot of guys that do. I think the one that makes me more mad than anything is somebody that, if you're getting down to the end, shoot a big 3-point. Okay, shoot something with some bad genetics.
yeah.
Don't
2x3.
Don't shoot a young 20-inch 4x4 just because it's a 4-point.
Yeah.
Shoot the 3-point, please. Get those bad genes out of there.
Like that muzzleloader buck I did last day. He's a 3x4. He's like 29.5.
But Josh can talk about bad genes. The bad gene bucks sometimes are good gene bucks on good years. The same exact
But does
deer.
Colorado, though, really have super bad, like drought-stricken antler years? Some units can, but
It's true.
collectively, I
So
can
your point
In
is
Colorado.
if it looks like a bad genetic deer, there's a good chance it is a
In
bad genetic deer.
Colorado,
Where
more-
here in
more
southern
of a-
Utah,
Nevada,
the big
yeah.
deer are 3 points on dry years
Yeah.
on the ponds. You could go
Ponds,
wipe out a bunch
strip,
of big deer.
There's a bunch of weird places. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think Colorado, more deer grow what they are got pumping through their veins every year in terms of genetics
I agree.
potential than they're growing whatever the
Nevada,
limited feed gave them to
Nevada,
grow.
you could take a drought year and a management tag.
Yeah,
and they're
yeah.
all management bugs.
Yes, exactly. Scary.
So
Well, I think with moisture this year, I don't think most of Colorado's affected by drought as much.
No.
I don't know what winter kill's going to do this year. I do know that all of the western edge, anything that touches Utah, those states, those units over there that, the 2, 21, 30, 61, 40, 72, all those ones that touch the Utah border, I think on a good moisture year, they'll probably be better this year.
yeah, yep. I had some of the
They are
locals
a
say
little
that
lower.
about 10 and that they are
lower, little lower elevation. They don't have 12 to 14,000 foot summer range for deer.
Right. They don't have that summer range, and the drought's been hurting those units a lot the last few years. It's been tough.
Yeah.
When, just dust, no feed,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I don't know.
Kind of
But I'm
fun.
not telling you where I'm hunting. There's a few options out there this year. I reset my points, so I only got 1 point right now. So I'll be.
Are you going to
Probably.
use your points, or are you going to look for a turn back, or what are you going to do?
Turn back landowner.
I put in for a unit that I can sometimes get with 1 or 2 points. I doubt I'll get it. I'll play the turn back game. Last year, the turn back game, by the way, was
Brutal.
It's a pretty competitive. It's tough.
Yeah.
Okay, I used to plan on getting a few turn back tags. Anymore, I don't count on that as a strategy anymore.
Well,
You
now
will not get one.
and-
You
and-
can get one, but it's a lottery now.
Yeah.
Your lottery chances.
and it's
of getting
because they've
turn
gone
back
to a
tags.
set time. Hey, here's when the tags are going online versus random throughout the day, Tuesday to Friday.
Yeah.
Right.
That used to be if you had a day around a computer and you could sit and watch it, something could pop up, just like Nevada used to do.
Yeah.
Same principle. That's used to be how
Nevada changed up their system. Now resident tags will be residents, and non-residents will be non-residents. So there'll be less non-residents giving it up, especially on wet years.
Yeah.
So darn it, things change, Clint. We're tired of change. We want to go back to big bucks and tags for everybody.
I think those days are gone forever,
I
my
know.
friend.
They're never.
They're-
I know.
I don't know. I have my own little not so rosy outlook on the future of hunting, but I think that this moisture this year should help things a lot. I think it'll jumpstart a lot of units.
Yeah.
But there might be some winter kill in some of northern Utah, Wyoming, Idaho.
Yeah,
That
it's
might
kind of
be-
interesting. We look at the Wyoming snow equivalents, Josh. We looked at those, and basically it's showing just over 100%, a lot of it.
Yep.
So it's interesting. You have major winter kill and with just about average moisture, but I think it's
Some of it
timely.
Some of it could have been though because those deer didn't come to the winter range in very good
Yeah.
condition. Some of that part of the country was a little dry. Even northern
Well,
Utah
they're-
was drier than we were. They didn't get the monsoon stuff, so
Yeah.
if they don't come to winter range in a normal winter, they could die.
They're also a little bit different up there. They had an ice box of winter, so their snow they got just like northern Utah, just kept building and building
Yeah.
and building and building and building. Where certain winters you get warm ups, but you get 30 to 40 degree temperatures. You melt snow, you get back down to bare ground in
Yeah.
between. That didn't seem like it ever happened in those parts
Yeah.
this year. Southern Utah happens every year. That's why we bring it on in Southern Utah. We can almost not winter kill deer down here. Our storms on winter ranges melt in between storms. You get a wet one that's rain, it melts off. So anyway, a lot of differences in terms of how much moisture you got versus how much it builds up with cold temperatures all winter long versus how much it melts in between every storm.
Good point. So, Clint, you're one of the few that are going to hunt Wyoming this year.
Really?
Give me
I am.
a positive spin on what you're thinking, and give me a positive spin on what you're hoping for.
This is the positive thing. If you're coming off a rough winter, I think a lot of the mature deer have the fat reserves and the wherewithal to survive a rough winter.
Okay.
And so when I am seeing deer, the chances of me seeing big deer are going to be greater. I'm not going to have to weed through as many younger, smaller deer.
How about potentially also less Of the tags that they issue for non-residents, maybe less of them will be major trophy hunters. Maybe. Or do you think there's diehards that are going no matter what and just
maybe? I think you might get a few less. I think your serious trophy hunters are starting to realize that you need to take advantage of
just hunt
stuff
anyway.
now.
Just hunt anyway. Yeah,
because it's not
wanting to wait 4 more years for it to come back or 5 or 6 years.
I don't think. Yeah, so like if you had a bunch of points, I don't know if it's going to get better in the future.
Yeah.
In most of these places, the way they're managing them, with the resident thing and G&H, they can hunt that as over the counter, and they get mad because there's still non-residents there, and they'll try and cut the non-resident tag some more, and they think that's going to make it a better hunt for them. But
they're cutting 100. They're cutting 100 non-residents out of H. That's what they're proposing.
That's what they're proposing. And I don't know if that's based on winter kill or if that's just they feel like there's too many non-residents in there.
It's just an excuse.
It's
an excuse to cut it.
I'm sure.
Don't get us started.
Hey, the OTC tags for residents are scientific.
There's a lot of.
Come on.
There's a lot of non-resident hatred right now from a lot of different states.
Everywhere.
But there's some states that are way worse than others. Is that what you were just about to say?
Well, yeah, some states are.
Yeah.
Like Wyoming,
Yes.
After I hear what's going on, I'm not much of a shed hunter myself, but part of me wants to say, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. If a
reciprocity.
Wyoming reciprocity.
Reciprocity
it works for
rules.
Bobcat tags, everything.
Bobcat tags in Nevada, does that tick you off a little bit?
Well, yeah.
Well, yeah, non-residents can't get Bobcat tags in Nevada.
We've got Nevada guys. We've got Nevada organizations hitting us up for donations. It's just hard because you feel like there's just this anti-non-resident sentiment, and it's
shed
not
hunting, bobcats, all that, stuff.
Yeah.
And these are our little fights in our little world, but hey, we live 30, 40 miles from the line, so it's kind of
right. And it feels like the residents shed hunt anyway.
Do whatever they want.
I don't know. It's hard. Well, positive spin. I like your positive spin in Wyoming. I think.
Well, I think there'll still be some big deer in Wyoming this year. I don't think it might where it's going to hurt. If you get any winter kill, it usually hurts it 2 or 3 years down the road.
These hardcore guys are going to be hunting in Wyoming. Some of them that are really hardcore, that are the most verbal about how bad it is and how bad the winter kill is. I don't like winter loss. I don't like it. Because it does change something. It does change something, even like you're saying. If it's 2 or 3 or 4 years down the road, you see the fawns that would have been alive or gone, things like that. But I do think there's going to be some trophy deer taken.
Yeah, well, see, the downside is I feel like we're just barely starting to recover from the last winter kill.
Of 16, 17. Yeah.
And so it's just barely starting to get good again. And this is what happens, Colorado made their decision after 07, 08 that they basically don't want to stockpile bucks anymore.
Yeah.
We're not gonna let Mother Nature kill them. We're gonna issue tags and kill them before.
Make sure we don't have too big of an excess ever.
Exactly, ever.
Which is a
we're
bummer.
Kill them all. So,
yeah. All right. Well, you got Bronson fired up. He even wrote down on my sheet here. What'd you write, Bronson?
I'm back in on Wyoming. Clint convinced me. I'm back in. I'm back in. I was waffling. I'll admit I was waffling, but I also was optimistic I'd have some archery elk tag in Arizona, which I don't know why I thought that. That was a pipe dream, but I didn't. So I've got plenty of time to hunt the high country of Wyoming before they eliminate all non-resident hunting.
I think you should do it. Are you going to do it? Promise me.
Not promising yet, but stuff can happen between now and May 31st. What do we?
It will.
Something can happen.
The other thing that's going to happen, I don't know, in Colorado, Colorado's looking to switch to that 75-25 next year. It won't hit this year, but if that hits next year, that's going to change the allocation for non-residents.
Clint,
some units that actually would work out to be a permit increase because some are already
increase.
At 20 right now. So it depends on where
I
you're
feel like Colorado's somewhat fair to non-residents.
Yeah, that's generous. If it goes to that, it's still way generous.
I'm still happy with it.
Yeah.
But just realize people are going to be whining about point creep again because their unit they could get with 2 or 3 points now it's going to take 4 or 5 points.
Clint, what was your takeaway when they discussed the point banking?
I think they want to revisit it. I think it's probably point banking is complex, and I think it's just too hard for people to wrap their head around how it's going to work and how it's going to affect things. and actually get everybody educated on the actual, how you get to where you're going
If
to
it
get.
takes 4 points to draw a tag and you have 10, you now have a tag and 6.
Or whatever.
Yeah,
5 or
and
something.
they can mix that up however they want too, because there's a lot of different ways you can skin that cat. At what point, how many points do you lose?
Yeah.
It is going to increase point creep, though, to a lot of extent, and that's the downside. It's
nice to wipe a guy's points
a lot
out.
of your mid-tier things, it would, but it would also get people out of the
upper point tiers, maybe.
Too.
So if I have 10 points, I could go to 2-point units lots
Maybe
of times.
They take 3 or 4 points from you, and you go back 2 or 3 times.
And I'm taking an opportunity from Adam, who's got 2 points. Like, I'm actually making it tougher. The drawing odds tougher.
But
the
that
guys
guy with 10 points is happy you're gone.
Yeah.
The other thing they could do is averaging
right.
people together. But I don't.
No, they don't. They're not happy
not
about
a whole
that.
lot of appetite. They're not a whole lot of appetite for that. There.
No.
They don't want to do
Point boosting
and
or
in fact,
group averaging.
In most states, that if it's a loophole, it gets shut down at some point. There's some places like Nevada took a while. Arizona still hasn't gotten to that point.
Nevada, you can do it. Your grandma has to use her tags. You can't just continue to point boost you the rest of her life.
Yeah, you don't get your points back.
Okay, all right, Guy. Well, we'll let you
man.
kind of finish through the drive-through there. Get your hot apple pie. How's the water?
The water.
Yeah.
You got plenty of water around where you're at?
Are you guys all up there? Are you reviewing the videotapes from the 80s, 83 when Salt Lake was?
It's snowing on me right now, and
Jeez.
I spent Saturday over cleaning out a creek bottom for the city, trying to. They're getting ready for flooding.
Getting
The
rid of the
waterways.
branches and brush and debris so they don't plug the culverts everywhere.
Yep, that they're cleaning everything out right now. They haven't had a good flood here for a while, so
Be a good clean out.
they're cleaning stuff out. They're getting ready. If you're not getting ready for flooding,
You're too late.
you need to start real quick. But it's snowing right now. Okay, they got snow on the benches here. I mean, I'm here, Utah County, and it's snowing right now. And
Jeez.
I looked at the snow survey thing this morning, and we're in record territory. And I think after today, we'll probably break the snow.
The all-time 80s.
All-time 80s. We'll probably break that by tomorrow. I think it'll be broke for the state. Highest ever.
And depending on how it comes down off the mountain and how fast it comes down, it could be rivers in Salt Lake.
It could. You don't know. I mean, I remember I was a kid when they had, the rivers going down the middle of the road in Salt Lake. They had a sandbag and they were just diverting water right down the roads.
Hey, Clint, I was talking about this with these guys today. I grew up in southern Utah. So did Jason, but I was probably, roughly 10 years old in that year. But do you remember when Highway 6 was closed because of the Billy's Mountain Thistle slide for a year or two? And driving from southern Utah to Salt Lake, you had to either go over through Salina on I-70, go to Salina and up through and hit I-15 and up, or we had to go just past Helper, go up to Duchesne and go clear up through like Hebron. And it was a chore just because that was a big deal. And I'm telling Devin and Wyatt this, and they weren't even born. I'm like, why am I even talking to you two guys? You weren't even alive.
And I never.
But it was
Adam's
I
like,
remember.
Jason, do you remember that? And I'm like, I never left the town of Moab.
But
we ate Spam.
I did too.
We
But for
pinched
some reason,
pennies. There was no reason to go to Salt Lake.
I just remember I did it both ways, and my dad said we'll never go the Duchesne way again. I don't remember why. It was just maybe too long. But it was like a 5-hour trip.
At 10 years old, Adam's analyzing routes.
Well, it was like a bad deal, man. I just remember this is a bad deal because when you're trapped in the back seat of a car and just getting yelled at, I don't know what, because they didn't tell you to put your seatbelt on because we didn't wear seatbelts back then.
We were in the back of a 72 Chev with the camper shell and that air up, that little donut between the slope slider window.
Quit fighting with your brother and sisters, all they would yell at you.
Shut up.
But
if I have to
you
stop
remember
this
that.
car,
it was a big deal for a long time. I'd like to go research that. It had to take a year or two to get that going again.
It was an engineering feat because they started drilling that tunnel for the railroad. Started tunneling on both sides. They started on both sides due to the interest of time, and they met it in the middle of the mountain.
Yeah.
They started on both sides.
Interesting.
Started going at the same time.
But anyway.
All right. Well, we got a little history lesson here, so that's
easy.
good. All right. Keep us posted.
All righty. Have a good one, guys.
Talk to you later.
Right. You got someone else?
Let's call Cody Dice real quick. He came over and was shed hunting, looking around here in southern Utah, northern Arizona, just to get out of the last few days.
In Utah? Did you say Utah?
Yeah, he came right down through here, and then he spent a lot of time right here on the border.
Okay,
Just
I would say that'd
new
be a
country.
safer answer than shed hunting.
Well, he didn't shed hunt
Okay,
Utah.
just making sure.
But he came through our country.
I did not know where this was going.
Well, he just outside
Yeah, I
of
hit
his.
the ponds. There was nobody around. That was awesome.
There was bone everywhere. All right, hold on. So let's just call him and just visit about Colorado in general, see what he's got to say.
The winner's like
He's just
Gunnison.
Yeah, he's
right.
Wealth info, just what's going on.
Hello.
Hey, what do you know?
Oh, not enough.
Did you make it home?
I did.
I told these guys you went on a little bit of a spree just to get out of
I
the
did.
house.
Stretch the
I
legs.
got out of the house, and that felt good.
Yeah, that's good. Well, but none of my Onyx pins helped you at all.
It was a point of reference, and that's a little bit of help, but not in the context of being able to get out and make bear fruit of it. So
Lot of moisture out here.
No Browntown points. Is that what you're saying?
yeah.
Gave him the best points.
That's
I gave
for
him
sure.
the best places I knew of.
It was probably the best time to give them up.
Oh. So what did you think? We're kind of in a mud hole over here.
Yeah, for me, without much, I don't have much perspective otherwise, but far as I could tell from talking to everybody and what I observed is that it was kind of neat to observe. I don't know if it was a historic event, but definitely out of the ordinary for the last couple decades. And so, I know that's exciting to a lot of people, getting that kind of moisture. And, that's probably the most significant part. But for me personally, selfishly, it was the literal raining on my parade.
You picked a bad weekend, but
Yeah.
I told him you better have tires, winch, chains, handymans, 14 days of provisions inside the truck.
Yeah,
well,
totally.
What is
But I
things?
got out. I found some big tracks and found good country, and that felt good. And that was a good place to start with the one day that I did get out there.
What about back home? How's things there? We've been talking today quite a bit just about Colorado in general.
Yep.
Deer hunting, application periods open, all that. And
Yep.
how are things in the Gunnison Basin in terms of normal or slightly above normal or anything?
We want you to tell us something good. We just feel like things have changed
I knew you would.
Well, we know we've been talking a lot of people about how Colorado is just a moderated state. It's got great potential, but the stuff's moderated. But I guess we've been talking about the northwest corner too. That seems to be where things are definitely going to be seeing some antelope and deer, significant winter loss in places up there. Not hearing too much about it at any other place significantly. So want you to either echo that or speak to that, at least as far as where in your part of Colorado.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think you made a statement about normal winter. And I think that's what we're having is a normal Gunnison winter. But based on, the last several years, it would seem like it's above what the new normal has been.
Yeah.
But I think we're right where what I knew as an old Gunnison winter, we're right in that realm. The difference, I think, is the snow that we get now is wetter, and it does set up. And obviously that can lead to issues for the critters. But I think we've got enough sunshine throughout the winter, and that snow is settled, that feed's still available. Their ability to move around is becoming limited as it continues to set up and we get more snow. I think everybody's kind of on the edge of their seat here and in the Eagle Valley, wondering what's going to happen, and nothing's really shown yet. There's been no expressed concerns by CPW that there needs to be any action taken, and I don't think anybody else is feeling that either. There's still good distribution, and it seems like it's obvious that there's feed available if they choose to utilize it. So I think we're in good shape at this point, but as a lot of people know, you really don't know until about now, and then as things start to carry on into spring, what your loss is going to be. So, they were basically at the end of the reserves, and the deer came in to the winter good. We had a good summer, good fall. I think I saw some of the biggest fat reserves on late season bucks that I'd probably seen in the last several years. So, I mean, that's exactly what you could hope for. And so that factored in, I think we're teetering on potential higher than normal loss. But, I think that would go back to the normal Gunnison winter.
Yeah.
And just not what we've been seeing in the last few years. So to speak to good news is I think we're not going to take a big hit. Unfortunately, I don't feel like we got a lot of super old deer that are vulnerable to this kind of weather, so we got healthy middle-aged class deer that I think will be fine. Fawns, on the other hand, for the future, I think they're in good shape. We've had a lot, and, we can afford some loss, even though it's not desirable. So I think no matter what happens, even if we bump up a little bit in our loss with the result of this average winter, we're still in good shape.
Well, how do you feel, just what's your gut feel on these season dates, obviously, and tag numbers? I mean, do you like these season dates? Do you think it's good?
I'm the same as any reasonable human, I think, is that I like them for hunting them in the immediate and what it does for my success personally or guiding.
Yeah.
But for the overall health of deer and future of hunting and maintaining some older age class deer, I think that they're awful.
Yeah.
And I would like to think that it's making an impact, particularly in the Southwest region, based on my conversations with hunters, guides, and staff, that it's not good for our deer or elk herds for a lot of different reasons. And so I am adamantly opposed to these dates for a number of reasons.
Well, we've pretty much talked over ourselves and say the same thing. We feel that, a few years ago when 2-3 years ago when this hit, we were wary. Obviously, our eyeballs pop out of our heads.
They were late as was,
yeah.
and then even later.
And then got even later. So the mule deer hunter in us all got way excited, of course, like you alluded, but the management or biologist or whatever, we know that they're just susceptible. We know it. We know how big bucks. You don't see bucks all year long, and now they're standing out there dumb, and there's a consequence to that. And I think we're seeing, even though they're not, we've had monumental snows, but for second, third, and fourth, and crushing. It's just collectively they're all adding up. It's all adding up, and the deer that we hoped were just staying high in the timber, or we're not seeing them because we're having mild years. I don't think that's not happening. I think they're just not there in the numbers we all want them and are used to seeing them. They're just not. So
no, that's spot on. And I think what's been happening too is a lot of people look at the later end of it and the vulnerability, the conditions, that type of thing. But another aspect that I don't know that's being spoken to as much is what's been happening with our second season, which I think traditionally management-wise has been kind of your opportunity season. Yeah. What's happened is those dates have shifted into that pre-rut staging time. And I think that's where this would be in deer regards. I think the elk are taking a hit later in the seasons because of their traditional habits. But speaking to deer specifically, I think that second season, people figured that out. And with those dates, they've capitalized on it. And I think obviously a lot more tags. You got a broader range of people hunting and other, and trophy hunters capitalizing on older age class deer that are coming into country. And so to me, that's probably been the biggest concern, is that season, the tag numbers and the amount of harvest that has been happening there. I think the later seasons, they traditionally have good success rates anyway, like you guys said, with the what was already late dates. There was already high success there, so I don't think that's shifting much. It's the second season to me where I think we're wiping out any older age class bucks that come into country, and then that mid-range, the new up-and-comers, is the next segment that we're taking out, and I think that's more detrimental than taking the top off every year, in my opinion.
Well, and yeah, you're in some cases, not all, but if you look at the tag numbers, you're talking from second to third, double, triple, or even quadrupling the tag numbers on the second, because what was historically more of a mid-October. Let's call it the opportunity. Yeah, it used to be like let's say the 20th to the 30th of October, roughly is what it kind of always used to be. Now it's pushed a week later than that, and that's always, depending on weather, a little bit more the time where
you can issue more tags and not have all the tape.
Yeah, in October, right. Where now they didn't really back off the tags in the second season. They kept the same mentality.
They're never going to back off.
They kept the same mentality and just shifted it later and have a lot of tags.
It does feel like when we spent some time in Gunnison this year, it does feel like there's a lot of bucks that another year or two could be. It does feel like Gunnison could be good. It's at some point. I feel like, like 55, for example, there was a lot of bucks that made it through. And you know what I mean? Because there's not a lot of tags in on the later season of 55. So, the future, the outlook looks good. It's just that they're so vulnerable and so easy to kill and easy to hunt. You know what I mean? And so.
Yep, definitely. Well, and, if I could have a plug for, encouraging folks, listeners, sportsmen, hunters, trophy hunters, meat hunters, whatever, to encourage getting in the conversation. The big game season structure is being discussed right now for the future, and I don't want to step out of bounds, but I feel like staff could use our support in the Southwest region in expressing that although it's been fun and exciting to hunt these later dates, if we want to preserve the health and well-being of our deer and elk herds, we can't continue with these dates. And I think, I feel like with I hate to say it, but the game that wildlife management is these days, sportsmen really got to step up and speak up to this stuff. And they are open to engagement through surveys and comments. And I think this is where we really got to tune in and step up. We're losing ground fast in all aspects of hunting and wildlife management. And, I think this would be one simple place that people could get engaged and speak up, because we continue on this trend with these dates, and I think we're going to be in big trouble.
So do you have an answer? I mean, is it even possible to split the elk and deer up? You know what I mean? It'd be nice to split them up and hunt deer earlier and not when they're so vulnerable. But I just don't know if that's even going to happen. I feel like it's not even possible. So then you got to cut back tags. You know what I mean? Right.
Well, the best idea I heard, and I'll give Steve credit. It's his idea, and that's 5-day seasons. And so we shorten the seasons. We keep tag numbers and opportunity out there. We do consider doing a deer only. We already have elk only. I think there's a lot of ways we can get creative, but I just don't think that the agency is super receptive to that. I think there's so much going on in this state in particular right now, particularly with wolves, that they are just jammed with stuff to do. And then there's just a resistance to being open to new, more robust ideas. And I think they can do that because there's not enough people speaking out against it. But I certainly think there's creative ways to maintain opportunity and consistent and, the necessary harvest that's needed to maintain these healthy populations. But I think that's going to be a tough one and a big commitment from a lot of people to make that happen. So, considering if we're just going to keep it down to the basics, I think a simple shift, at the very least, a simple shift back to the old dates would be the first best move.
Yeah.
Well, and you're dealing with a state that is the bread and butter has been the over-the-counter elk for so many years everywhere, and the concurrent deer and elk seasons, and they love it. That's Colorado. That's what you think of, and that's what they don't want to eliminate. But yeah, maybe
they changed it up for elk, which is it feels like they changed it up for elk, and
so that they space the hunts from the first to the second. And that's what it was for. But maybe go back and say, all right, the second season you don't hunt deer the first 5 days, and the last 4 days is elk only, and the elk hunters probably like that. But the deer hunters get their chance and. Or whatever it is, whether it's 5 or 7 days, just do some tweaks like that. Still have concurrent because it's nice, to sometimes throw a deer. You guys are residents, but even us, if we take our kids over there, grab a kid a $100 youth elk tag, and in case you see a legal bull or. Whatever, but there's ways to do it, but it's time. Yeah, I think you're
you hunt the first 5 days or something for deer only and call it a day.
And then they'll get the last 4 of the second.
And you're right when you made mention that there's some elk only seasons like the first. There's no deer on the 01R. You know what I mean, so to speak. Generally speaking, statewide management plan. So, anyway, interesting. Those are interesting thoughts, and something's got to give. Do you know, Cody, like when how long they're taking comment on this?
Oh, shoot.
Didn't mean to pin you down just while we had you.
First comment period might have closed this week, but it was really initial, I felt like. They put out a survey, and I wish I could tell you details. If I dug a little bit, I could offer that up so that maybe folks could get a little bit more streamlined and connected there. But it doesn't take a lot of digging to get connected if you just look at getting engaged with CPW on 5-year season structure. So anyways, the process is going to continue. I think there's going to be more time for submitting ideas about alternatives.
Okay.
For, potentially being creative. I know there's been talks about potentially earlier deer seasons, maybe even combining with the first season. I mean, and a number of other things. But I think that's where folks need to get organized and just throw some ideas out there. I think we're working with the commission now. I'll say this respectfully, that is a little less hunter oriented. And I don't think it has anything to do with how much they care or all about money or all of that. I think there's a little disconnect, and I think that's where sportsmen need to speak up and give some realistic ideas for them to chew on and consider in their plan. Now, you can't have expectations when it comes to that, but if you don't say anything, then they'll never know.
Right.
So,
but at least if they were inundated with comments one way or another, at least they would know that there needs to be some change, whatever that may be. We're hungry for something to change. Yeah,
without a doubt.
Okay. Yep. All right. Well, I think that's all we got. You guys got anything else? No, all right. You got anything else, Cody?
Appreciate the update.
Well, I can say just for the sake of people wanting to hear good news is we're not catastrophic here, and I don't think in the Eagle Valley either. We're always going to have big deer, and I think if people are smart, they hunt now and don't wait for the next glory days, even though they might happen. So, I say have high hopes, low expectations, get out and hunt and take advantage of the opportunities when you got them. Gunnison will always be a great place to hunt deer. There'll always be big deer here, and if you won't get them if you don't go.
All right. I like it. Okay, sounds good. All right, buddy.
Okay.
Thanks for your time.
Appreciate you. Thanks. Have a good day.
You bet.
All
See you.
Bye. Bye. There are no glory days coming up, is there? I think that we're seeing. You can see these slight little bumps we've been talking about, but use them now.
Regarding the season structure stuff and some of the other surveys regarding point bank and all that, we all got random emails. I know there's some people that say I never got that. Well, there's methodology to their survey method. Rather than have 400,000 people you're waiting to get back from, you do a random sample, and if it's truly a random sample, then it's somewhat applicable. That's what sampling does. It's what any survey does, polling or whatever. But it looks like, this particular round of initial info gathering closed, the 15th of March?
It looks like.
But, I mean, that, if you remember, it was this wide for options. And then stuff narrows, and you have another round of comment and public period.
So there'll be another opportunity, and
there.
maybe we'll be a little better on it too, and just realize that there just needs to be a lot of comments one way or another, and then that way they can feel like, the public's ready for change one way or another. We got to do something, try something, change it up a little bit, and there's 100 opinions and options, if not more, many more probably. All right, well, sounds good. Bronson, let's give something away. Should we give something away? It's been a little while. You don't want to?
Sure.
We can't.
Let's do it. What do you want to do it? How do we want to do it?
I don't know. I don't care. I came up with that. You guys figure out what to give away.
Well, that's the thing. Let's give something away free. You guys take it away.
What do you want to give away? Let's do something.
What do we got?
We got a whole shipment of new cameras in. I mean, we could give away a couple of trail cameras. Easy enough. No problem. What do you think? Should we do it? How are we going to do it, Logan? Logan's going, oh, jeez.
That is a great question.
All right. We'll let you chew on it for a minute.
Okay. Giveaway coming up then.
Giveaway coming up. I was thinking we could make a few more calls, but I'm about wallered out, guys. It's been a long podcast. It's been.
We almost been here 2 hours. Just put you.
No, it's an hour and 44 minutes.
Okay, I said almost.
Plus a 10-minute.
Hey, and we got another podcast in 53 minutes.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And we got to have lunch.
Okay, sounds good.
How about this? Let's do. It's easy. Let's do another kind of a like and subscribe thing.
Okay, run with it.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
We just got loaded up with a bunch of trail cameras, which I guess is just a plug for that. This year might be a good time to get some out. And with a shorter season date and stuff, they're kind of, I don't know, it's nice. You
got to put out a lot of them.
Yeah, you got to
even more than ever.
Last year I kind of switched to more cellular cameras because I didn't want to have to go back to the same spot. I mean, you just can't, because it's like by the time, especially this year, it's going to be a little later. And so you're not going to be able to go back to the camera 5 and 6 and 7 times or whatever to get it checked. And if it's not doing anything for you, it was just out there. I don't know. So yeah, we switched.
Can we watch, like, when people rate the podcast? Can we see that?
Yeah.
Can we see who does that?
What we've done in the past. How about this? Go
subscribe and you have to subscribe to the podcast.
Subscribe to the podcast and leave a review.
Okay.
Screenshot your review and send that in a
to
direct
Epic
message
to one of the Epic.
Do it on Epic _hunts.
Instagram.
Yeah, on our Instagram.
Okay.
Just go and give us a like. Just make sure you're subscribed to the podcast, as well as leave a comment. I can't, I guess, tell you how many stars you should rate us as, but leave us a rating.
Even I will say I wasn't a 5-star today. Even I will say.
What do you mean?
No, I'm just.
You're a little off.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. There's some days you feel like you nail it, some days you don't.
You never admit it.
Depending on how you feel we nailed this podcast,
I'm comfortable where I'm at.
I feel like the reason why is because you had water.
Come on.
I was ready for some more Bronson stories.
I think I'm starting to get hangry. That's all.
It is me too. Well, let's give away. I feel like giving away a good chunk of them. I'm not talking one camera, Bronson.
How do you want to do, like
5 of them?
5 winners for 32.
5
30
to one guy.
Oh, or
I want a significant gift. You have to go out and make and rate the podcast. I think let's give 5 32.
Okay, and we'll do a
maxes.
random drawing amongst all the people that rate and review.
And if there's 10 of them, there's 1 in 10 shot at freaking $700, $800, $900.
There'll be
items.
more than 10 of them, 5 of them. But yeah, that's a great prize.
But it is when we've done that in the past.
And we'll pay the shipping. So you're gonna get 5 G-Max 32s. That's the best camera we have. For all intents and purposes, the one we use personally, put a lot of them out on the landscape in a short amount of time, and it's getting to be that season. You like it?
Yeah, I like it.
So yeah, leave a comment.
5 for the winner.
Screenshot it. Screenshot your review, however many stars you think Adam did this time. Give him some stars. Screenshot that and your comment, and DM us on Epic _hunts, and we'll just take your names from there and put them in random.
And do it by what? This is going to come out when?
This will come out today.
And then what's tomorrow? Tomorrow's Friday.
How long do you get able to comment?
Do it by, I'd say do it by Sunday night.
That's
Like,
short.
Like
Short.
in 4 days?
Yep. Well, people are going to listen to it, and then
All right.
they're going to lay around and forget about it.
That's fair.
Or they're going to do it.
Sunday night?
Sunday night.
Along with that, I know most of our viewers come from Apple Music, but Spotify only lets you rate something once. So along with that, I say we include our YouTube podcast channel, Epic Outdoors. If you subscribe and leave a comment and a rating on that as well, get you into the contest.
For all you Spotify's that already played this game with us once before, and you're maxed out on your comments and rate and reviews. Okay.
But you can only get one entry.
That's why we need
in the hat.
Yeah.
That's why we need
one
a
entry.
Gen Z, because he thinks of all these things that we're excluding people.
I just hate how
without even knowing
he likes to make it
excluding
complicated. He wanted to throw in TikTok because that's on his mind,
them. Yeah, that's right.
and that's not happening. That's a China-based company.
Yeah.
I did want to throw in YouTube pretty bad because our
Good.
YouTube podcast and it could use some love.
That's where I know that I'm not a 5 today, because I most of the time forget
all
that
these
I'm even being
cameras.
videoed for these things. So I know I wasn't a 5.
I think that's why
I
we're
didn't
off a
dress
little.
for success. I didn't dress
Well,
for
and
success
I like to do podcasts like this,
Yeah.
and it doesn't show well.
And when if we pass notes back and forth, it's to address something.
And
it's
if
not
this
like
is
we're-
affecting us, we're doing away with it.
yeah, that's right.
You're taking away TikTok. You're taking away the cameras. What do I do here?
Hey,
You do plenty,
still do-
and
you-
we got
you'll-
more.
You'll always have a job here, but sometimes if I want to.
If I want to have you want to have hands going every which way.
Gestures and stuff, I don't know. I want to be uninhibited. Right now, that's why you see me fold my arms and I'm like,
Well,
this
you
is my
see,
two
I've been-
positions in here today.
I've been trying to sit up straight. I mean, and I hate that.
He's
I
bridled.
like.
Lord
I mean, just-
Bronson is bridled.
Yeah. I don't want to feel like I'm in my armor with my LARPing sword. I don't want to feel like I'm in
It does
here.
feel.
Thrust this
And,
PVC.
and the more you try to whiteboard us, and it's not you personally, but John would be all about it. It's whiteboarding us, and pretty soon you just take all the personality out. And
green
you're just,
screen.
Yeah.
Unit 1,
Yeah.
That's my goal here.
Unit 35. All right, everybody.
Hey, March Madness kicks up again today.
It does.
Good luck to all your teams. Watch the brackets.
Yeah, it's a pretty tight competition right now. Our
Tight.
top 15 people are within 40 points of each other.
And hey, they all start doubling. They get more points every
Yeah.
round, so stuff can happen fast. You get on a little streak now. It's not like the first round. So
Sweet
good
16 this weekend. Going to knock out a lot of people, really make the
Yep.
game interesting.
luck. That's right.
I only care about deer, so whatever you guys are talking about, it's fine with me.
Pokemon. We're talking about.
All right, let's go.
Have a good weekend.
We'd like to thank all of our sponsors here at Epic Outdoors. For top-of-the-line hunting, clothing, and apparel in every environment, visit UnderArmour.com. We'd like to thank Under Armour for being our title sponsor and making this podcast happen. Visit our website, epicoutdoors.com, for discount codes to Under Armour hunting apparel. Handcrafted, quality, precision rifles from start to finish. Red Rock Precision is one of our sponsors, and many of our staff uses Red Rock rifles. Visit redrockprecision.com to find out more. If you're in the market for a hunting property, our sponsor at St. James Sporting Properties specialize in premier hunting properties throughout the West. Check out available hunting properties at stjamessportingproperties.com. Good-looking, comfortable camo describes Kuiu. The new bush pants from Kuiu keep your legs comfortable while walking through the thorns and bristles. Visit kuiu.com for sizing and prices. Kenetrek makes great boots for any situation. Most sheep hunters in the high, rocky altitudes use these boots to keep their ankles in check on the rough terrain. Visit kenetrek.com to learn more. We at Epic Outdoors are a fierce firearms dealer and have many popular models in stock and ready to ship. Call us if you would like help deciding which options are right for you. Fierce long-range rifles are a great rifle, and many of our employees here use them. Visit fiercearms.com to learn more. Triple S Polaris specializes in custom setup hunting side-by-sides. They deliver right to your door nationwide. Visit ssspolaris.com to learn more. For affordable, long-range rifles and shooting schools, visit thompsonlongrange.com. Hoyt is top-of-the-line archery equipment. Hoyt is the official bow manufacturer of Epic Outdoors. Everyone on our staff shoots a Hoyt bow. Call if you'd like to visit about their different models or visit Hoyt.com. Thank you to PhoneScope, the best camera optic adapter out there. PhoneScope makes high-quality phone cases and optics adapters. Visit PhoneScope.com to learn more. StealthCam has high-quality, durable trail cameras that we all love to use. Check them out at www.stealthcam.com or call us to order today. Here at Epic Optics, we are a verified dealer for Swarovski, Zeiss, Leica, Vortex, StealthCam, and more. Call us today to visit about the available optics we have and what would be right for you. or visit epicoptics.com. For only $150 a year, you get 9 issues of the Epic Outdoors magazine and unlimited access to our hunt consultant, as well as access to our verified research website. To see all the other member benefits, visit epicoutdoors.com. If you hunt multiple states, our services are essential. The Epic Outdoors license application service is for you if you ever miss deadlines or would like help developing your long, medium, and short-term license application goals. Give us a call today at 435-263-0777 to learn more.